Boom, bam, bam. You are welcome to the United Hour. I am President Chad, and the house with me, we got the man Devin up there in Miami, and we got Robert Wallace. Indeed, MUFC is a mess. I mean, there is so much to talk about. We have to talk about men like Rabio. We had to talk about men like Anatovic. We had to talk about Marcus Rashford to PSG. I mean, lots to talk about, but we are going to be starting off talking about this new bid to purchase Manchester United. So we're going to run through the information, limited information that is available so far, and let's see if answer the question of will this bid be successful or not. So the guy heading the bid is a guy called Michael Knighton. Now, for people who may not know, maybe a little too young, maybe like me, I don't know, a little too young to remember. Michael Knighton in 1989 went and tried to make a purchase Manchester United back at that time. Now, from my understanding, he is doing what he's trying to do now. He had a consortium of people, and they went as far as sitting down with the United ownership at the time and looking over the books and, you know, doing all of your due diligence that you would normally do to purchase the club. And when it came time to dot the I's and cross the T's, apparently the money wasn't in the bank. Welcome to Raul. As soon as I was bringing him in, he decided to jump back out. Anyway, yes. So the money wasn't in the bank. And strangely enough, he ended up on the board of Manchester United. Now, that is kind of weird. Somebody who tried to buy the club unsuccessfully, didn't have the money. Some of his backers pulled out of the deal last minute, ended up on the board. There's some talk that maybe, in looking at the books and seeing what was under the hood, that, maybe he was privy to some information that United didn't want to go public. So as a result, they say, well, have a little seat on the board, Who knows? Good afternoon to Penelope Julian and Martin Phillip in the comments. So Michael Knighton had a failed bid in 1989. Ended up on the board for a while. Then, as far as Manchester United business goes, he disappeared for a while. And now he's back looking to form with a new consortium interested in taking the Manchester United away from the Glazers.
Special good evening to Penelope as well.
There's a big difference between what is going on now and what happened then. Right back then, Manchester United had a number of owners with a different amounts of shares, and they were willing to sell those shares. Right now, the bottom line is people that own Manchester United shares that would have bought them on the stock exchange, they have no voting rights. These shares give you a part of the club more or less in name only, right? You have no voting rights. There is no real influence that these shares have. So you can't go and buy these shares, let's say, and buy the club. It don't work like that. The people that own the preferred shares of the club are the Glazers. So the only way you're going to buy Manchester United is if you buy it from the Glazers. So we hear in a live interview that Michael Knighton did, he spoke about a hostile takeover. How would this work? The reality is we know that the Glazers are not interested in selling the club. So the only way this would work is if he makes the club lose value and therefore the Glazers choose to sell the club. So you're talking about doing more walkouts, staging more protests, doing different things that are going to decrease the value of the club. right? That is what you're talking about. And the reality is, he needs the great support. Good afternoon to Raul.
Yeah, good evening, good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear you,
Awesome, awesome. That
right?
means the
So
money well
he's
spent.
going to need the support of the club, of the fan base, to successfully make this happen, right? The Glazers are not interested in selling Manchester United at the moment, even if the consortium of people who he has not named, right? He is the front man, but the supposedly three billionaires behind him that are willing to put up the money to buy Manchester United. The Glazers are not interested in selling. So the only way this is going to work is if they make the value of the club fall, one, and two, if they make the Glazers want to sell. So we're talking about continuing protest action against the
Reasons.
sponsors, for example, to make sponsors not want to support the club. You're talking
So,
about not buying jerseys. You remember 2 seasons ago, Adidas wrote a letter to Manchester United about how low jersey sales were, right? And then we signed Cristiano Ronaldo and all of that changed. Um, people going to have to be walking out of the stadiums. People going to have to not buy stadium tickets. There's a lot of things that are going to have to happen to put pressure on the Glazers to want to sell.
yes, sir. So
Because it doesn't
just to
matter. You could
support your
have
chart.
10 billion, you could have $20 billion. If the Glazers don't want to sell, there is nothing you can do to make them sell other than try to put pressure on them. So the whole the for this bid, when you hear about a bid for Manchester United, the only way this is going to be successful is if they can make the situation at Manchester so negative from an administrative standpoint, from an ownership standpoint, that the owners decide, yes, we are going to sell the club. So that is the entire situation encapsulated, in 5 minutes explanation. I'm going to go to the panel and then I'm going to talk about my personal thoughts. So, Devin, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Mr. Knighton
So
could be successful?
how is the saying go? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I don't believe that this bid is going to go anywhere. Even so, I do not see the Glazers wanting to sell right now. It's unfortunately, as long as it's servicing the debts, their personal debts, they are not going to want to sell. Is my personal opinion on this. I I do not approve it. I do not like it. I am just thinking as if I were one of them. Yeah, the fans may not like me, whatever, all that. I'm actually personally stunned that they actually showed their faces Saturday, that I actually saw them in person. I'm actually stunned that I saw them. They even had the audacity to even show up at Old Trafford. Um, but to me, if I'm thinking from a business perspective, this is servicing all my debts right now. Why am I going to get rid of it? As a fan, I absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. This guy right now, Michael Knighton or whatever, um, the reports that I hear is that the guy himself is not worth more than like 7 million himself right now. So whoever these backers are that he's talking about, I want to know who they are, and I want to know that they can truly commit. Because the last thing we need is another. And this happened before I was born, so I just aged myself there. Obviously the people, but now there's pictures, video clips of him doing the keepy ups on the Old Trafford pitch, and he's going to go and buy it. For all these same shareholders pulled out. What's not to say that that won't happen again? I don't think it's going anywhere, and I'm going to treat it like how I treat any rumored transfer, the transfer window. I'll believe it when I see him signing the paperwork and holding up the shirt.
And I mean, the truth is, it don't even have anything to it come like if I could jump up and ball and do a video on the United Hour saying I want to buy Manchester United, and I have some people, some billionaires willing to pay, you know, um, for the club. That
Now,
don't
if
mean
if
Glazers. That don't
now
mean
if the man
Glazers
comes
gonna
out
take my phone call.
exactly now, if the man comes out and says he has Jeff Bezos behind him, then I will be jumping up everywhere. But
No,
but
it
that's a
don't
whole
even,
nother
the
yeah.
truth is, it doesn't even matter if he has. legit business people behind him willing to spend the money. The Glazers don't even know how to take your phone call,
Yeah,
right?
but it's also at that point when it's like, okay, money's not an option for some people. If you find someone who's a true genuine fan, and it's just somebody who would pay over what the Glazers or what the Glazers would sell at just to get the club back to where it was at.
And I would love to hear the figure because we don't even know how much
Well,
what the
you
Glazers
think
spend.
about it this way: the Denver Broncos just broke the record for the most expensive transfer at I think $4 billion US. Chelsea was $2 billion. So the Glazers are going to want something probably thinking 5.5, maybe 6 at this point. Even with the declining state of what it is, because they're probably gonna price it on future value or something like that. So you know how they're gonna be. So even though they bought it on borrowed debts.
Indeed. So, Robert, what are your thoughts on this possible takeover of United?
I just think it's just more PR talk. It's just another thing to to take away attention from the Glazers. I think it's just another thing to get fans talking, to get us arguing amongst ourselves. Everything that happens on this club, I just realized it is just another PR done by somebody to to shift attention from something else. The club right now is literally going down a tube, but we have this news about this new mystery owner, this new mystery guy who wants to come and buy the club and whatever else. It to me it means nothing to me because it's just another thing that is going on around this club. And I don't really care really and truly about who may or may not want to buy the club. The Glazers would never sell the club. If I was them, I was never gonna sell the club either. I bought the club on the cheap, on the cheap, right? The club pays for all of my stuff. The club facilitates my life. I don't have to use my money to do anything. The Manchester United pays for my bills, it pays for my trips, it pays for my house, my car, my wife, everything. All of our money together is what they use to go and buy lunch during the day. Those are the facts. So why would they sell to somebody? I mean, really and truly, it makes no sense. Would I want to sell? Yes. To this guy, no, because this guy obviously doesn't have. I I don't know much about the guy. The fact that the guy doesn't is not even worth how much is he worth? Like what, $7 million?
Yeah, that's what I heard. So I
Right.
figure around that. So
The Glazers are worth how much? How much more? It's
exactly.
good. Right. It's like if I, like I have a car, I am worth $100. You want to come and buy my car, but I know you only have $5 in your pocket. You only have $5 in your pocket. You can't buy my car. You can't buy it.
You can't even start to talk about buying my
Yeah,
car.
exactly. So, like you said, Chad, why should I even waste my time and take your phone call? Dog, you're not even on my level. You're not even worth, you know, my my ear. You're not even worth it. You can just hold my keys and drive my car in the car park, please. Park my car. You know?
Raul, I think the reason this is getting a lot of traction is because we as United fans are we so want change that this guy comes in, talks a good game, and he have some people, revved up and interested in getting behind him, but I personally don't think there's much substance here as yet.
So
You
I
know,
did want to add one more thing, and I forgot to say it before. This guy owned a club previously as well.
Yes, he did
So
after he left being on the board of
yes,
Manchester United.
and you know what? You know what he ended up doing with
It was a
them,
third division club.
Carlisle. You know what he ended up doing with them? Ended up getting them relegated.
I know he got them promoted, got them relegated as their manager. He fired the existing
Yep.
manager, went to
Mhm.
manage the club himself. Note, owner went to manage the club himself, and then end up getting them relegated.
So
So,
it's kind of like, are we trading one monster for another?
and that you see what you
It
just
was
said there.
just, yeah,
That is something I hope United supporters understand.
exactly.
You cannot want the Glazers out so badly that you just go with anything, because it is possible
Mhm.
to get worse ownership than you had. Ask any Newcastle supporter, they'll tell you.
Mhm.
Right? It's
Yeah.
possible to have worse owners than we have right now. Right? So we as supporters need to do our due diligence before we just go throwing our support behind any and anybody. But Raul will give you the last say. Talk to us.
As the old people say, pick,
Your
pick.
volume real low, Raul.
Hold on. I check. Hear me better now? Or let me just
Not hearing you
one
that much
second.
better now.
Hold on, one second. This may be the volume here may be low because it's on the USB microphone and not the headphone. 1 second.
Why Raul get him
You
set?
should be hearing me much better.
You're right.
Much better.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. So, as the old people say, pick until they pick shit. Right? Now, the man, just staying current, the man may have promoted and relegated a club. He may have learned from that what not to do. So you never know that he may have the ideas, he may have the wherewithal to be able to guide the club with that football brain and the love for football, not soccer, the love for football, to
Mhm.
give the club what they need, give the manager what he needs to get the club back to winning ways. Right? If you had the opportunity to sit with the man, dig into it, and find out what he's about, don't judge the book by the cover. If it is the leopard ain't really change his stripes or the zebra ain't get bleach out, well then fine. You
Mhm.
know, outside fluffy with him.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
well, and
going
that
back, but before you go, but going back to what I was trying to tell you is, for those who don't understand the levity of the situation or the seriousness of what Manchester United means to the Glazers, think about Ansa McCall
Mhm.
selling Carrick
Mhm.
out of the group to the company that does the largest brew company in the world, beer company, drinks company, beverage company in the world. So think about it in that way for those of you might understand. Where if Ansa McCall loses Carrick, what is Ansa McCall? Ansa McCall is Carrick is the cash cow, right? And without that cash flow, right now, the Broncos and whatever other teams in the states that they have couldn't survive properly. So they are milking my club. Unfortunately, all that milk they milking my club, not helping my weight go down. But here what they milking my club.
I mean,
Mhm.
the truth is most club owners in the States, you very rarely hear of club owners in the States losing money. Right? Whether it's NFL, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball, you don't really hear about club owners losing money. However, there is no doubt that Manchester United is the crown jewel in all of the possessions that the Glazers have. Right? It is the one thing that is globally and universally known, and it is the one thing that will open doors for you anywhere in the world you go. You could shop anywhere and say, hey, who am I? I own Manchester United, and people will listen to you versus saying You know, American football team, when most of the world do pay attention to American football.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? So the Manchester United is definitely the jewel, the crown jewel in their cap. And I mean, it would be nice. I do believe that Michael Knighton is a supporter of the club. I do believe he may want the best for the club, but your first bid failed because your backers jumped out, and you're coming with a second bid. How many years later? How many decades later? And you're not giving us any more information. You know, I watched the interview and he talking about the silent nights. Who's the silent nights? I need to know.
Christmas
I need
coming.
I need to
Yeah.
know who are the people behind you that have this money for me to take you seriously. So until I get more information, I'm gonna have to agree with Devin that just can't really take this bit seriously.
Yeah, but you can't afford it. You can't afford the club. It's like when
It's
Yeah,
exactly
we can't afford the
if the
club.
silent night
Robert. It's
are
exactly what I
billionaires,
said. He has these backers behind. Name them publicly. Let me
yeah,
hear them say. Let me hear them say publicly that I will back him on this takeover.
Mhm.
yeah, if the
Right? It's
silent
like
nights
If he is
have
legitimate
money,
about this,
then they could
yes,
afford it, but we don't
have
know.
him come out and say it. It's as simple as that. But
you have
until then, like I said,
no
I treat it like the transfer window. I believe it when
exactly.
he's signing the contract and holding up the shirt and he's doing his keepy ups on the pitch again, but this time seriously.
Mm. Mm.
That's when I believe it. You ain't fooling me again. So
No.
I totally
Guys,
agree.
so
I totally agree with Devin on that.
You can't afford it.
Totally.
You can't afford it.
And because here what? I see men pushing themselves to aneurysm status or for this transfer season with all the and not me, papi. Not me. And
life
I
is too
just
short.
laugh. Too short, too short, too short, too short.
Ladies and gents, don't forget.
Support the United Hour. Click that like button and subscribe.
That helps out the channel immensely, so make sure and do it. Now let's talk about the craziness that would have happened during the course of this week, because I predicted it, when we had the breakdown. I said Manchester United lost on the weekend, and I expect us to do business in the transfer window. And a matter of fact, while the game was going on, transfer rumors broke that Manchester United were interested in Marco Arnautovic. Now, for people who don't remember Marco Arnautovic,
You used to
he
play for
would
West
have
Ham or one of them?
West
played
Ham
with
is so
he played
Stoke.
with Stoke
reject,
mainly,
rejects,
and then
reject.
he had a very short stint at West Ham. Right? He was never a prolific goal scorer in the Premier League, but to some extent he was competent. Right? Right now he plays in Italy, and he actually had a decentish season last season. So, decentish. Make of that what you will. It is said that the club tabled a bid. The bid was rejected. Who's the club? Where does he play right now?
I think I want to say Cagliari or something like that.
Caligari
Cagliari,
All
or
yeah.
right, good.
Caligari or whatever it's called.
So
Cauliflower.
they
That's how you play
apparently were
Slovakia.
expecting Manchester United to come back with a second bid, but the fans did not appreciate us going after
I apologize. Bologna.
Bologna. Okay, thank
Yes.
you very much.
Bologna is the name of the club. Bologna. Okay, not Bologna. Bologna.
Right, so Bologna said they expected Manchester United to come with another bid, but he has a little checkered past. There were some issues with him and racism and racist chants and thing in the past. And based on the negative backlash associated with the rumors of us going for this player, the club has pulled out. So we're going to forget that. Okay, so who else have we been hearing about? Javier Hernandez. When last have you heard that name? He in an interview.
I heard he wants to come back on a free.
Man said he would play for free.
In an interview, he made it clear that he would be willing to come back to Manchester United and play on a free. Right now, he plays his football in the MLS, and I believe they are on break. So, gentlemen, now this is purely from his side. Nobody, from my understanding, from Manchester United has reached out to Hernandez and asked him to come back. He has made it clear. He recognized we need reinforcements in the front, and he's saying, if all you call me, I will come and play for free. Would any of you all be interested in having Hernandez back at the club?
Why not? And we bring Ronaldo.
I would say if
Man, no round, no.
Hold on. Time out.
Hernandez and Ronaldo in the same sentence, bro.
Let me tell you something.
Let me
tell you why. They did the same thing. They did the same thing. And honestly, to me, Chicharito is a better poacher than Ronaldo. Ronaldo is a complete player. But we need a poacher. We need a man who does find himself in the right spots in that 18-yard box, right through.
But he will also have to realize, like, if you bring him back on that free, he is not going to be playing all the time. I mean, we are just speaking speculatively because I don't think there's any chance of this happening. However, with that being said,
we can't do too bad.
I agree with Carlton. Would be the same thing. You come in, like, you at least it's somebody who truly cares for the club and will give their all and is not concerned more about social media likes or just about how much they're getting paid or whatever else. Like, you have somebody who truly cares and will give their all. It may not be the same talent as some people, aka Pogba, but what's the saying go? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
So here what? The value that he will add would be off the field, in the dressing room. That heart, that genuine love for the club, as they say, it's infectious. It's infectious. But in reality, at 34, we could do it all in Mexico.
You could bring him in on a loan for half a season for free. So just for something. If worse comes to worse, at least it's somebody who cares for the club.
For depth, we could have him for squad depth and Europe.
Exactly.
That I can live with that. As a man said, bring back Igalo. Igalo not going to come back.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I was thinking the same thing when I heard. I was like, if people in the boardroom, we don't know, but if people in Manchester United boardroom genuinely considering this, could bring back Igalo. Serious.
Then,
you know what I mean?
Hold on. You wanna get ridiculous with the thing? Then you go say, best bring back Ibra.
Ibra's hurt. Ibra's hurt.
Ibra, yeah. So that would do it. All right, guys. So
I know, but you understand what I'm saying?
Who else we've been linked with? We've also been linked to our left winger / false nine.
Do not say
Gakpo playing for PSV. No, PSV is in the middle of a playoff with Rangers for a Champions League spot. Now, for those of people who don't remember, because I know you all know because you are very knowledgeable United fans, the coach of PSV is
Ruud van Nistelrooy, tra la 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 la. Ruud van Nistelrooy, tra la 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 la. Yes.
So the coach, new coach,
of all time.
recently appointed coach of PSV is Ruud van Nistelrooy. Now, they have made it clear that they are not interested in selling the player while they are in the middle of their playoff. So, if there is interest, genuine interest by the player to come, and if the club does decide to sell the player, it is going to be after their playoff, which I think is on the 24th of August. So it means that they have told Manchester United, we are not giving you a response. Even if you come with the money that we're asking for, which is about 50 million, we are not selling the player until the 24th. Now, one would also think that if they do qualify for Champions League, that they may not want to sell the player at all, right? But we don't know, right? So
they may, because then now with that 50 million they might be able to get a Gapco 2.2.
Well,
yeah, but that late in the transfer window, nah.
Yeah.
You
I just
keep.
say,
I have no qualms with what PSV is saying right now. Hey, look,
no,
we're
they're
trying
quite good.
we're trying to qualify for Champions League right now. We do not need this distraction right now. Let's see what happens with this, and then we come back later. I would do the same thing. I cannot complain about that.
Oh, that's proper football and
Yes.
management and business
Now,
sense.
like you say, come back to the board because here's how it goes right now. Like if they don't qualify for Champions League, which I think they're down after the first leg right now too, then yeah, you could come to the drawing board. But if they qualify for Champions League now, then they can come back and say, look, we need him for Champions League. We qualified. Now the price went up. So I understand it from their perspective, and I can't disagree with it. It's
Well,
business.
my challenge with this is simply this. I think Manchester United, more than anything else, needs a number 9. Now, I don't know if United got wind of news that only broke today about Marcus Rashford. But before the news that broke today, I am not interested in another left winger. We need a proper striker. Let me tell you something. My top desire was Anthony at the beginning of the window. Right? That's not my top desire now. If Ajax was to drop the price for Anthony before today and the rumors circulating, I still didn't want Anthony anymore. We need a number 9. We need somebody in front because Ronaldo may be here right now. We don't know what the status of Ronaldo going to be come the end of the month. Right? And then even if Ronaldo stays, Ronaldo and Martial is not enough. We need a number 9. More than we need a winger. Another winger.
So let me ask you a question. Chad, let me pose this question to you. So out of our youth ranks, we have no one that can grow into that position.
Nobody
I'm
that's
asking.
Nobody that's ready right now, ready to go. No.
We don't have anybody that we could. You see, there are people in different positions like Zidane Iqbal, Garnacho. These people can be promoted. And again, Garnacho is another winger. But we don't have a number 9. What is McNeil is his name? Charlie McNeil?
Charlie McNeil and Charlie McNeil is one.
Savage?
No, not Savage. Hugo.
Right, Hugo. Right, yeah. McNeil and Hugo are possible number 9s. Yes, they play for number, but they one day young, and they haven't been good enough even to get the promotion to travel with the team. There are a couple of young players like Savage that we brought with the senior team. If you ain't good enough to even make the trip with the senior team, you ain't gonna be good enough to just throw in the Premier League, right? I don't think so.
No, me in terms of positions, I think some of them I do fully follow and understand. So even this boy Shotta shows that he still has some development to do, and also why not who we have that we could fill a position in that midfield area that could let somebody play that natural, proper striker position. But why is Rashford, who's naturally a striker, playing on that wing consistently?
Because that's where he likes to play. He has said that his best position is left wing. And to be honest with you, when you look at his stats and when you look at his performances, his best position is left wing. And you see, the problem is with Gakpo, with and Anthony, these guys who are wingers, even to some extent with Martial, his hold-up game is good. But these other guys, they don't have hold-up game. They could play number 9, they could run onto the ball, but they don't have that hold-up game. Their hold-up game is not good. They're not that natural poaching. They don't have poachers' instincts, right? They like to collect the ball and run at people. Even Martial, he could hold up the ball a little bit, but he likes to collect the ball and run at people.
That's all. Not pointing the right direction. Devin are pointing at you right now?
Yeah, opposite. Other way.
It happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. As Devin said, let me take Chicharito, yes. At least he could hold up the plate. He could give them a little minutes. He could give something else. He might
right now we need options. We need
34, but he will definitely
Well,
give
yeah,
a
we
lot
need
more
options at
than
each
some.
different places right now. In my
We need
opinion,
options there. We need options in the defensive midfield,
we
and we have options in the middle of the defense. But somehow the coach just insists on playing
well,
Slaven.
well,
But
like
anyway,
I said. Well, I was not going to name the defense because I think we have options there. I
yeah,
say we need a striker, we need a defensive midfielder, and we need another backup goalkeeper.
Okay. But then
another backup goalkeeper.
a-
But something
after
you
right, but then after asks this question, right? Our top six rivals, right? City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, um, Leicester, um, who else? Wolves. Would any of them take Chicharito? No. So why are we? Would any of them take Marco? No. So why are we? Are any of them
because they have
taking
the players in the
Rabiot?
position.
No. So why are we? Are any of
So,
them taking Gakpo?
so,
No. So
so
why are
Robert,
we? Why are
Robert,
we taking people's garbage? I am tired of my club taking people's garbage. We are not a garbage club. We're not what is the name of our garbage company in Trinidad and Tobago?
Swim
What it
call.
is? That's correct. We are not swimming cold. We are not swimming cold. Right? We don't collect garbage. Right? We
Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
we don't. We don't collect garbage. You know what I mean? We don't. We
Robert, I agree.
Nah, we don't.
I agree with you, but at the same time,
That is
our board,
Chad. That is
our
a
board,
ooh.
our board is shit.
Yeah.
This is the literal definition of insanity. We do the same thing over and over again with
Because
different
we
results.
complain,
Because
right?
like, hey man, we want to go after and get these players, and then you sit there, you try and fight, chase after one person, you don't get them, you spend all your energy on that, you might get one or two along the way, and then the transfer when you start chasing down people. It's so tiring, it's so frustrating.
Right, but
So
again,
you put all this time into, and we're doing it again now. And I thought it would be different with Richard Arnold and John Murto.
no.
That and apparently it seems like it's becoming the same thing. And I truly believed in Murto and Arnold that it would not be this again.
You see, you did. You know why?
truly
You know why?
believe
Do you know why you did? I'll tell you why. Because we are all from the Caribbean, right? Because we saw the man lying in a bar with people, right? We all assumed that he was cool. He's not cool. He's not cool.
Well, you remember how we said we were going to leave the jury out on him until the end
He's
of the
not
transfer
cool,
window.
man.
We said that before.
I need to come
jury
in
was out.
and defend Richard Arnold and John Murta right now. And I just want you all to hear me out. Hear me out. And all the supporters, I know we hot, I know we sweaty under the collar, I know we upset with how things going, and we looking in a mess and a shambles. But just hear me out. We have to look at the full picture. The full picture is Manchester United had players on a list. City had one of those players. They bought Haaland, yes, but the other player they bought from Argentina, he was on that list. Liverpool had one of those players. Time will tell if they overpaid for him or not, but the price that they paid, we weren't going to pay for him, but
We
he was on that list.
actually had Flipper on a list. Come now, man, Chad. I
We're
disappointed.
talking about Darwin Nunez. Yes, we had Darwin Nunez on our list. Right? Now, when we tired Ten Hag, one of the things he said was he wanted full control over transfers. So it means that Manchester United's transfer business only started when Ten Hag was appointed. So all the names that was on the list before got turned up and thrown away. So are we late to the party? Yes. But we're not late to the party because we're just incompetent. We fired a lot of incompetent people, right? We are late to the party because the coach has now come and he's interested in the players he's interested in. So it's not like he has come and there are lists there. There were lists there, but he tore those lists up. He said, nah, I'm not interested in who Ralph recommend, who Ole was thinking, who was on the list from no, I'm not interested in that. I want my players. And we have been encountering challenges. The club has gone hard behind every player that Ten Hag wants. The challenges we're experiencing by Barcelona is not Manchester United fault or Ten Hag's fault. The challenges we experience with Anthony is not, I always said, when we got Martinez, I knew Ajax was going to play hardball with Anthony because they didn't want to lose so much of the players, right? So the challenges we got with Timber was because of the coach, the head coach of Holland. These are things, yes, we frustrated, but we can't blame Richard Arnold and the board yet, because the reality is we are it come like if you start a race after everybody else running. Right? And we genuinely have to give these people time to see what will happen, not just in this window, but in the next window. We can't just judge them when they already started off late. Everybody else was running ahead and we started off late. Go ahead, Devin.
So yes, we all know the Frankie de Jong situation. I give them the benefit of the doubt on that.
Say the man name properly now.
Where I do not give the benefit of the doubt is not pursuing the backup options earlier. And now it seems that you're going into this thing now where you're just throwing out names for players
but again, Devin, is that Richard Arnold and Murtaugh fault? If the manager says this is what I want, I'm interested in options, do you blame the board? You know, we always say the board must support the manager. Are we saying now that we expect Murtaugh to say, yeah, we're going on Ten Hag?
This is how it goes. Okay, yes, we are going to go all in on this player who you want. However, with that being said, we need options if we cannot get this player, because what we do not want to happen is what's going to happen right now.
AKA, we enter the season with Fred and Scott.
Well, that and also, okay, now we're starting to run down players who we have no business being at a club like Manchester United. The names that you see,
but let me ask you a question, Devin.
You're down there right now have no business with Manchester United.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think the names that we running down? Do you think the players that we running down are the club giving Ten Hag these players, or do you think it's Ten Hag telling the club to run down those players?
So right now, I think it's Ten Hag just out of desperation, being like, okay, I just need somebody just for a stopgap for the time being, just something better than what we have right now. What should have happened was, okay, you have the A, B, and C targets from the beginning of beginning of Ten Hag's reign. We can't see beginning of the transfer window and all that. From there, okay, you say, all right, this one is who we want. If we can't get this guy, then you start looking for a B option, aka Ruben Neves. You think Wolves are going to sell right now?
No, but with that being said, remember I said a little while ago that when Ten Hag came, they tore up the list. Before Ten Hag came, who were the names associated with Manchester United? Ruben Neves, Declan Rice, Harry Kane. Who else will we genuinely linked to?
That kid from RB, the striker.
Right? These were the names, these were the people that we were linked to. Since Ten Hag has come in, you realize we haven't been linked to any of those guys. So this is what I say, we have to understand that we can't just jump up on the board and jump up on the
So here's the other part. You know what going 2 seasons back to back without Champions League does to Manchester United?
Make us unattractive.
Loss of money.
Exactly.
But again, who was most responsible for that? A man who's not here anymore in Edward Wood.
Yes. So, but you know what you do for now? You make your expectations realistic with your transfer window. You say, all right, what is the absolute worst thing that can happen? And maybe right now you call it a Band-Aid fix, but you focus on that for now. At least you get it from there, and you slowly build it up.
Very good. So now let's go on to the other names that have come out this week. Milinkovic-Savic. Now, we have been linked to Milinkovic-Savic since...
forever, it seems.
Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
Since Jose Mourinho. And every season, almost religiously, his name comes up. But now, his name has returned as an option for Manchester United. One quick question, guys. Just yes or no. Would you all take Milinkovic-Savic at the club right now?
No.
Yes.
No.
And I like this comment from Martin Phillip. He said the board and the new manager were short-sighted if they destroy the list and now find that they can't get what they want. Good players are also hard to find. then United is playing outside the Champions League. Well, when United is playing outside, and I agree. And you see, you cannot just say the board and the Glazers. You have to throw some of that blame at Ten Hag, because he came in and said, I want to be responsible for this. Right? We fired our top scout, chief scout. We fired the man underneath him. We don't even know what's going on with the scouting department right now. If he wanted to be responsible for this, he had to take part of the blame. I just can't allow people to say, oh, it's Arnold, oh, it's Murta, oh, it's the board. No. If you're going down that road, you had to say it's Ten Hag too.
He could take part of the blame, but hear what? But the man was trying to do his job thoroughly because he needed to assess what he had. And assessing what he had not only meant watching tapes, but seeing them live.
And all of those things, Raul, would put us behind the ball.
It would, but
it would take time.
Correct. So, but as I've realized, and I'm going to say this, and I don't care whose corns it mash, who gets offended, who would want to tote feelings, who might want to bounce me down if they see me on the road, but our fan base is too flipping fickle and want microwave success. And they don't know what is patience. They need to go and read the book of Job and stay right there.
How long have we been preaching on this channel? There is going to be growing pains. It is not going to be an overnight fix. There is absolutely no chance that's going to happen. So you have to ride the wave. However, with that being said, as there's going to be growing pains, you still need to be seeing progress in the right direction as it goes. And that is my issue as it's going from here. Because for example, let me put it to you this way. Yes, we're seeing signings like I think the Martinez signing is going to be brilliant. I think he was the best signing out of the three that we did so far. However, we still have not fixed the number one problem, which has been our problem for how many seasons now? And that's in a defensive midfielder. So, like, for example, and that's where it comes into it. Yeah, you're bringing in these things right now, but you're not thinking from a footballing perspective. You have not.
Let me add to what you're saying there, Devin. I agree with what you're saying totally.
Our spine is weak.
And my thing is that Ten Hag came in and he wanted to see, as Raul correctly said, for himself. And now he is seeing for himself. And it shouldn't have taken him that long. Because I think if he sat down and he had a conversation with Ralph, he would have been told exactly what he's seeing for himself right now.
But didn't Ralph write the report? And then himself.
I keep saying it. I don't know what's on this report. I don't know what's on Ralph's report.
How can you throw it out?
Yeah, Ten Hag, I get the impression he wasn't interested in what happened before. And now he have to learn what we all know, that we need a CDM. Right?
But why buy a used car and not check the Carfax? Check the Carfax.
We need to move along. But you know, I agree with what you're saying there, Robert. And I agree with Raul, just as people are in the comments as well. Just Rollins was saying that we are not going to get Savage, and that is true, but we mentioned him simply because it was making the news. So let's talk about somebody that it really seems we may get, which is Rabiot. Now, for people, most people who follow football, they would know his name, right? Because when PSG wanted him to sign a new contract and he didn't want to sign it, they put him on the bench and they were saying he was a disrespectful player and there was a lot of drama. We were linked to him at that time as a Paul Pogba replacement. Don't forget, we were not just linked to Rabiot just so. We were looking at Rabiot as a Paul Pogba replacement. We all know how things went. Paul Pogba didn't leave at the time. Rabiot ended up at Juventus. Right? He is a regular in the French national team. When France got kicked out of the Euros, we spoke a little bit about it on this program. Rabiot's mother was quarreling with Mbappe's parents and with Paul Pogba's mother about they don't pass the ball, and Paul Pogba was doing mess in the midfield and all kind of little dotishness, and it make news, right? That parents were fighting in the dressing room. after France got kicked out at the Euros, right? Rabiot's mother, who is also his agent, was involved in all of that. So,
Show this
gentlemen,
comment from Cass right now. It sums up what I was going to say.
well, I'm
Show
going
this
to you
comment.
now, Devin. Would you take Rabiot?
Absolutely not. We are trying to rebuild right now. We
But
need
Devin, you're
players.
being a little bit of a hypocrite there.
No. But you didn't let me finish. When you're trying to rebuild and you want to do things in a positive direction, you do not need all the mess that comes with certain players. Like, for example, and I know, well, he was linked for a little bit, Neymar. You don't need all that circus that comes with him. You look at Rabiot's past and everything that comes with it, right? Not like that, from all the stories about him, and now his mother is trying to demand like an even bigger wage, what he was getting at Juve, and that's why he wants to come. This man has refused to play. He refused to go to the French team because like he didn't want to be a backup player. He had to be all in there. Like we do not need that ego right now. You bring that in to those demands. He's coming in immediately thinking he's bigger than the club. We just got rid of one Frenchman who thought he was bigger than the club. We do not need to have a repeat of this right now when we're trying to get a squad rebuild and everything together right now. Not even for a Band-Aid fix. No, we are not mercenary United.
Let me ask you a question, Devin. Let me ask you one question I have to ask you. Yes or no, right? Is Rabiot better than Fred?
When he feels like playing.
Is Rabiot better than Scott McTominay?
When he feels like playing.
Well, based on that, that ticks two boxes there for me, you know. Robert, what say you?
But here's the thing. How often is he gonna feel like playing?
Well, all we need. Let me tell you something. John Mutter.
But here's the thing. How often
I
is he
don't
gonna
know
feel like playing?
where we getting that feedback from.
Sorry.
John Mutter, Rabiot's agent, his mother wanted to meet specifically and directly with Mutter, right? Mutter, it is his responsibility to let the woman know that it is her responsibility to make sure that her son handles his business. Because clearly he's a mama's boy. Clearly he has issues, right? Mommy, you deal with that. And if we don't get the performances, the same way you want assurances that we make it to Champions League and we want this and you want that, we must have things in the contract as well that if he underperforms, we must see truth, right? I'm just saying. But Robert, what say you? Would you take Rabiot?
Again, I ask the question. Our top 5 rivals, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Wolves, are any of them going to take Rabiot? And the answer is no.
No,
So
you
why
can't say that,
we?
Robbie. Rabiot win
Is
championships with
Rabiot
PSG.
wanted by City?
He has
No.
won
Liverpool?
championships
No.
with Juventus. The man has
Chelsea?
won stuff
No.
with France. The
If-
man is a winner.
Dog,
and he
I
has
don't
played at
care. You
big
know
clubs.
why? If other teams in my league who are above me don't want a player, why should I? I don't want him here.
But Robert,
He is a waste of
Robert,
time. He is just
you
poor Pogba, 5.186. Right?
you are the same man that I say United supporters need to accept the fact that we are like Arsenal, right? But you're sounding like you're living in Sir Alex days. You're
No,
talking
I'm
about
not.
attracting talent that City
No.
and
I'm
Liverpool
not. I'm
and these
not.
guys want. We're not in Champions League. Why should they leave? Why should they not go there and come here? Tell me.
Why are we going behind this player that, one, they don't want, two, we just put out Paul Pogba. We are gonna bring him back and a worse version of him. At least Paul could have played.
Robert, let me ask you this.
At least Paul could have played.
Why he's a worse version? Because he's white and
I'm
blonde?
sorry. The
I just
man-
mean facetious. You know what I answer?
the man
Because as I
doesn't
can say,
play.
1 Frenchman, 2 Frenchman, 3 Frenchman, all the same, though.
I would rather us go behind players that make sense. Rabiot does not make sense.
But we need players that make dollars, not cents.
No, but
We need players that will make dollars. Understand what I say? Real dollars.
Not 5 cents, not 10 cents, but make dollars. Yeah.
Hold on. This segment is brought to you by. This segment is brought to you by.
Oh my God.
All right, Raul, we don't want our video to get banned.
Exactly. Now we just lost all copyright because
I apologize, but
watch me.
Yeah,
People,
exactly.
I am just being devil's advocate when I challenge Devin and I challenge Robert, because there are two genuine arguments to be made. We need to upgrade in the midfield, but there is an issue with what Rabiot would bring in the dressing room and off the pitch. And
if he was a reform player, if it is that he is showing signs that he's no longer about the riffraff and the flim-flam and the fluff, and he just wants to play, I say, bring him. But other than that, let Rabiot find Peter Rabbit and like himself.
The one thing I would say to that is that clearly the fact that he's asking to be a regular in the team is because he has his eye on the World Cup and making the French squad. We all know Pogba is injured, and he must tell himself that he has a chance to make that French squad. That tells me that between now and December, we are going to get a dedicated sound player.
And what happens
after that?
No.
Is a question mark.
But if that's the case, why is his mother there trying to argue about a higher contract than what's being offered and all that too?
Bro, so the consensus I have from the panel is that no, they're only not interested in Rabiot.
Absolutely not.
Well,
I say we find out. I say we try and scout outside of Europe or Brazil or somewhere or Africa and find some. Hold on. For January, this is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And find a proper defensive midfielder, somebody who is coachable, work rate, and can become a star.
So you say between now and the end of the season, we have to live with this guy.
Fred is only the problem when
Martinez.
Fred is only the problem when McTominay is playing alongside him. And people might not agree with me, but hear what? When Fred is out there by himself and he has other players around him, Fred does the work, and his work is not undone because McTominay is just be doing shite.
One of the things I wanted to talk about, we went over so long on this topic. We haven't even spoken about Frankie De Jong.
Frankie De Jong.
I don't even think we're going. I'm not even interested in talking about Frankie.
I like that, Raul. That's the new name for it. I like that.
Because Frankie, that is an entire conversation by itself, right? All I have to say to people is this. You see all these rumors and talk about Frankie to Chelsea. Just know that is rubbish. That's all I have to say. Calm down, that is rubbish. Why? Because Chelsea has made it clear they haven't even put in a bid. And they haven't spoken to the player. So all of this thing about Frankie to Chelsea, forget that.
It's Chelsea fans who total feelings of the fact that so many of their deals were hijacked or bids were hijacked, that they're trying to create something against us, especially after we lose that first game. No, I just slightly strain off where that first game thing is. I'm telling you all, we are not going to be on a serious losing streak for long. Everybody's expecting us to stay down there, but we are not. Because we will find Eric is going to get it correct. He's going to find back the mix of players for it to happen. Because his experiment failed last week. And I believe you're going to see a different team in the middle and possibly Elanga starting.
You know,
It's
this
either
was one of the things I like about being on this show with this panel is how many times we often think along the same lines. So our next topic is going to be what can Ten Hag do to change things around against Brentford? And you, Raul, have just said what you think he needs to do. And just repeat what you said one more
he
time.
cannot play Fred and Scott together. Even if he sacrifices and plays one of the two, starts Ronaldo on top, but also have Elanga to come in, there's going to be a whole different feel and push with the team. Even if you wanna, if you depending on who you're playing, you wanna give, because here what Eriksen is our general. Eriksen and Bruno, I tell you, with the two of them there, the options and the runs that Ronaldo makes, that Rashford makes, and some of the runs, if you were watching our injured Frenchman Claire in the preseason, he will be found by these two players, and he was going to score at least 12 to 15 goals this season once those fellas stay healthy, and he could stay healthy. But the major change is, as I said this before to you, Chad, there's only one Mac that's supposed to be there, and that is McDonald's, not McFred.
I hear that. So Robert, what do you think Ten Hag could do differently to get a result against Brentford?
I say the same thing. Start Fred, not Scott. Scott needs to be on the bench. If it were up to me, I would have Fred, Donny, and Christian Eriksen in the middle. Put Bruno on the bench. And my front three will be Rashford, Sancho, and by default, Ronaldo, because there really is no one else, which is, I mean, it's the facts. We have no one else. So by default, it's him. It's not my preference, because my preference would have been Martial, because Martial had the match fitness. Ronaldo does not. Even though Ronaldo's Ronaldo, he's still not match fit. He's not quick enough. He's not. But we are right now, we need a win. We need to get back on the ball. So I would put Bruno on the bench. I will put Eriksen right behind Ronaldo. Right? I would even, because Eriksen works very well when he has focal points in front of him. And I saw Bruno doing too much of them weird passes, which made no sense. You know? And I think Donny would kind of more or less keep things moving. He'll be able to recycle the ball. Fred wouldn't be under that much pressure, because again, Donny wouldn't know the system. Fred is just there to do one thing: get the ball from that fridge, right, as quick as possible. Because we know Martinez, he good. We know he good. So you have Fred there just as a point. He passes off to Donny. Donny keeps the ball. We get to Eriksen, and the front three does make himself a nuisance.
Fred is a compact.
Right, correct. Fred is just the man who's just there, who just you just run around and make yourself a nuisance. I would not start Luke Shaw. I would not. I would put Malacia. Yes. That boy deserves to start. Because we saw again Luke Shaw, I'm sorry to say it, Luke Shaw is fat, he's overweight, he needs to go on the bench. Right? The man has no point. He played himself on the bench.
Wicked, them wicked, them wicked. I don't know how them so wicked. Why them so wicked? But I know so them wicked, them wicked, them wicked.
No, man, no.
To be fair to Shaw though, like, I saw him in person. He looks slim. So
however,
I can't call him fat.
Hold on.
No, I would say
just
one
so.
thing.
Let me tell you. What?
In the group
Robert?
was real nasty, because you, Devin, got picture with the man, and that was real brilliant of you, and I'm jealous of you. I'm envious of you, right? But many in the group actually said to hell with him.
I would see that picture yet though. But anyway, here what happened to Robert, right? Mm-hmm. Robert is seeing the gains that Shaw has made in his shoulders and his torso, his upper body, has really pumped, and you could see that there. But when you look at Shaw, he looks trim. He doesn't look like a fat boy. It's just up here has built so much. His shirt is just actually hugging.
Raul, a bird. Tell me this.
Lie again. Lie.
No, that's not a lie. I just tell you from what I see.
What gains you tell me about?
The man have gains. The man have gains.
I would not say he got gains. I would say that he got ripped.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you,
gains meaning ripped. That is what
I can tell
I
you.
know what gains mean, and that's what gains mean, yeah.
From my interaction with him, he looks slim.
Devin, question to you: what can Ten Hag do to change things around this weekend? I know you would drop Shaw and put Malaysia. He would be very upset to hear you say that after you took a picture with him. But I know that's what you want to do. And what else you would do to mix things up?
So yeah, besides that, I mean, I met Shaw last weekend. He was probably the nicest player out of everybody. But it comes down
to say about fat girls, eh?
Oh my god. Anyway, my argument with and what I want to see Ten Hag do is, if you don't play well, it doesn't matter how nice you are or anything like that. Have somebody else go in your place and say, earn your spot back. You could be the nicest person off the pitch and all that, but if you don't play well on the pitch, sorry, you got to move on. So yes, I would be playing Malaysia and Shaw spot. The other thing that I would be doing is we would play what Ten Hag knows, not what United knows, what Ten Hag knows. So I would switch the formation 4-3-3. The next thing is that I am bringing Maguire, Varane back into the center backs, with the sole reason that we need a defensive midfielder pivot who also can go in, is not afraid to be a nuisance, and that means Martinez has got to play that spot. With that being said, then you could play Eriksen and Bruno as the other two midfielders. And then you could also bring Sancho, Ronaldo, and Rashford gets one more chance. Play that, go for it. It gives a style of what Ten Hag is used to playing. And let's see Ten Hag style come to Manchester United and see how it goes.
So Rashford have to invoke his inner Biggie Smalls then.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was thinking. We have J. Rollins and R. Rollins in the comments. I want to read this comment from R. Rollins. Once we have a smooth clicking midfield to feed the front three, it is going to be a challenging, exciting football to watch. The defense is good, just the midfield need chemistry. And I think the attack needs chemistry as well. The kind of connection we saw between Rashford, Martial, and Sancho, when any one of those three not there, it's just not there. When we started the longer in the off-season, they look off when Sancho wasn't there. We started, whoever, we didn't have Martial for the first game, they look off. Now, that's a good and a bad thing. It's nice to see guys having chemistry. But the reality is injuries would happen. You'd need to rotate players. We cannot forget how to play football because your partner not there. You understand what I'm saying? So that is a problem. So for me, let me talk about the changes that I would like to see make. I agree. Let's start Malaysia. I'm sure if we bring Shaw off the bench, he's going to run like a demon, if it is even required. Start Malaysia. I don't think it's going to hurt the team one bit. Right? Yes, Grell, we know that PSG interested in Rashford. They've been interested in Rashford for a while. I don't see that happening.
Grell Torrell.
So, yeah, we start Malaysia. I think we just need to bite the bullet and start either Ghana or Savage in the midfield. right? We play Fred and one of those young men, or we play Fred and drop somebody back.
So what is your formation then?
I would go with the 4-2-3-1. So the only change I'm making in the back is Malasia. I would drop Scott, and honestly, I'd probably drop Bruno back. Right? I'm gonna leave Ericsson in the 10, and I'm dropping Rashford as well. And I'm gonna play Garnacho, Ronaldo, and Sancho. Right? Did Rashford have an absolutely horrible game? No, but Rashford cannot beat a man for over a season now. This is going into 2 seasons. I haven't seen Rashford pass
man.
a player.
And it starts to say complete a dribble.
Because like I watched the Super Cup game yesterday between Real Madrid and Frankfurt, and I saw players passing players. Vinicius was just passing guys, and I have not seen Rashford pass a guy in how long? And you can't be a winger and don't know how to pass players, you know.
If you're passing the ball into space and for Rashford to run onto it, yes. And then even then his finishing is questionable. That offside, right? I know it was offside, you know. And Rashford wasn't offside. The person who passed the ball to him was offside. But he didn't know it was offside. And he still didn't finish.
Oh, you should have heard us in the ground. You should. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, watching it on TV, I saw he was offside, but I still was there waiting. Let me see the ball buzz the net, because that would have lifted people. That would have lifted the team.
It was an excellent save.
At least boost his confidence to show I can still get the ball in the net. It's unfortunate the call was made, but watch next time now. Exactly.
Yeah, but the keeper did well though.
No, yes, the keeper did well, but my thing is, if you can't beat people and your finishing is not elite. Let me try Garnacho, who could at least do one of those 2 things now.
Yeah.
Who could at least put some fear in our defense when men had to be worried about the left side, because that first man going and get beat, and we need to have defenders so he could free up space for Ronaldo or whoever, Martial, whoever in the middle, right? Again, I have not given up on Rashford. I'm not saying permanently drop the guy. All I'm saying is for the next game, those are the changes that I think going to be required, right?
What does Ten Hag have the testicular not fortitude, but the testicular bravery to make those types of changes, to take that kind of risk and gamble? Simply because, and my thing is, I agree with the changes simply because it is early in the season, right? You have a 16 game by 22 game season, right? You could recover in that 22 game, but in these first 3 games, if it's tweaking still to get it right by the 4th game, so that you know you have a starting 11. I have an alternative based on who we playing that could fall into this position, being able to do your man management and your matchups to suit. You know? But we just had to wait and see. If he come back over with McFred here, what? I looking off and I going out early. Me watching that game. I will check the scores after. Anytime McFred, mark my words, anytime McFred start that game on Saturday at 12:30, I am locking up, racking up, heading St. Augustine early and start to cook at 9 and play music for my partner birthday night. You understand? I don't want to hear nothing until the game done.
All right, gentlemen, let's head into our favorite segment of the show, Top Shotta and Booboo of the Week. Who wants to start us off today?
I will go last on this one.
I can start because I would say Booboo of the Week would be Ten Hag. just for his decision to start McFred. I will be that person today. I will be that person. I have no problem being that person.
I wouldn't even say you're brave, because it should be told. I have to agree with you as well, but I will deal with me when I get there. Who is your top shotter?
The top shotter, I'm gonna be trying to tell you today, I'm gonna be real different. The top shotter of the week this week is me. Here why? Because I'm not feeding into all the bull tatter that being spread on social media and the news about who we link with, who we going to get, and all that foolishness. I just watching people and laugh. I'm not buying into that tatter. I like as Devin says, because I subscribe to what Devin says. That's how I live in right now. Until the shirt up or something signed or it is there in black and white, I don't want to hear nothing. Play the football.
Robert, what say you? Who's your top shotter?
My top shotter is a combination with it's only one club, Barcelona. These men continue to amaze me every single day. These men are my heroes. Barcelona is my hero, right? These fellas living, right? They're not living off of credit. They're not living off of favors and loans. These men just living life with no money. The men in the Bugattis, going to Dubai with all the best girls, all the best parties, champagne popping, and have no money. I want to know how to live that life. I want to know. Barcelona right now is my top shotter. These people, they buy players and they say if by September 10th something don't happen, they go on a free. But men still go in there. I want to know what are we not seeing? Because players know going on, right? But yet players still go in there. They all want to go there. So what going on there that I don't know, that you don't know? I want to know. Because I want to go there too.
Because what you hear in your hair, Robert, is Avengers Assemble.
All I see is, man, I just seen things happening. This Barcelona reminds me of back in the days going 51 degrees and outside the ram out. I don't know. I had to go in there. I have to go in there. Just Barcelona for me, top shotters.
Right.
And big up little Raul.
and actually that's his name. His name is Raul. But R-A-U accent L.
Yeah. And my boo-boo of the week will have to be my club. My club for continuously, embarrassing me. Just being a club just with no direction, no values. We are being linked with all kind of weirdos and misfits. Is you ever watch this show this Christmas movie?
Robbie, just leave it
as
Charlie.
Ever heard?
Just leave it as Charlie. Chase
Charlie, yeah.
Just chase Charlie out.
No, we are the island of misfit toys. That is what we are. That is what we are. For all men who know, that's what we are. This club, we
need to be the Willy Wonka of the Premier League again.
Yeah. My manager, Take Booboo too. Manager Take Booboo, Arnold, Motor, all your boo-boos. For everybody involved in this club that making me a laughing stock. In fact, that's Arsenal men, for 3 years now, to talk to me, I sorry.
Let's see what Red say. Let's saw Red comment just now. Red, yes. That is emotional damage.
I don't know. Yeah.
So my boo-boo of the week is Barcelona. Robert Top Shotta is my boo-boo. Because you had to ask yourself, how low can you go? I do not know if you guys were aware that Christensen from Chelsea was linked to and supposedly was going to Barcelona. Christensen changed his profile pictures on his social media to Barcelona from Chelsea. And then this week, when it came out that Barcelona, if they don't register him and Kessie by Saturday, they are going to be free agents and they could go to any club they want because they put that into their contract. And Barcelona don't have the money to register them as yet. Christensen went and changed. He went and changed his social media pictures from Barcelona back to Chelsea. So I don't know how low you could go, but I think Barcelona is very close to the bottom of the barrel. Very close. They ain't rich yet, but they're very close to the bottom of the barrel. So Barcelona is my boo-boos because I try and understand. You're asking men to take pay cut. You can't register players, but you're negotiating with Manchester City for Bernardo Silva. As Robert say, how they living without money, I don't know, but they living the high life, right? And that to me is craziness. Something is wrong with Barcelona Football Club, and, so we'll see how
Barcelona is the Tinder swindler. That's who Barcelona is.
Wow, like you watched that movie.
I did. Dog, it was awesome. He is awesome, man.
I didn't watch it.
That man awesome by himself.
I don't know.
So basically, you're saying Barcelona is what's the man name from Tobago again? The Union man.
I don't
know. So my Top Shotta, Barcelona is my boo-boo.
I am not. No.
I didn't call any names, eh? I didn't call any names.
Oh, God.
Devin, I will text you who that is.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, so my Top Shotta this week was hard, boy. This week was hard.
In the comments. Oh God.
This week was a hard week to find a Top Shotta. So I will have to second Raul Top Shotta and say Raul is the Top Shotta for the week too. Because I really don't have a Top Shotta, really. I haven't seen anything that made me feel like, yeah, boy, that person or this group running things.
It's so bad.
It's too early in the season. It's too early in the season, and I refuse to give Haaland my Top Shotta because I know he have a hat trick in him.
Yeah.
Whenever he scored a hat trick, he will get my Top Shotta vote. But this week,
you can get the Top Shotta outside of football. You could get outside of football.
Nah.
No, simply because the colors in the back represent with the Top Shotta.
Well, yes, that's true.
We could have gone 4x14.
We could have gone the route of athletics, but
I know.
It's not just a Trinidad and Tobago thing. So
it's so sad.
We will move along. All yours, Devin.
So you kind of stole some of my thunder just now too. So I will start with my Top Shotta. I have to give it to Erling Haaland, unfortunately. So you go from being a laughing stock after that real bad miss that you had in Community Shield, and people thought that you weren't going to be something. You come out and say, watch this. On your debut, you go out and you score a brace. I have to give you some credit there. So much so that I even brought you into my fantasy team and took the -4 because I thought that Kane was going to do something. So
Devin.
The struggle is real.
Yes. Made a mistake. I have to own it, and that's how it goes. Like if I call somebody out, I have to call myself out too if I screw up.
I screwed up too.
With that being
hey, just. No man, just. Come down from there. Come down from it. No man. Come down from it.
With that being said, my boo-boo man for this week is me.
Because you went all the way to England to watch you lost.
Expecting something different. I'm thinking that Ten Hag will come out and do something completely different. We get something new, brand new look, everything. just to see Fred and McTominay screw it all up in person.
The man went.
I
The
feel it
man,
for your boy.
the man went to the UK
Yeah.
and was hoping to get a little pic with Sir Alex and Ronaldo and end up with that picture with Luke Shaw. But
Yeah, no, but hold on. Furthermore than that, Devin, I'm going to bat for you here, my brother. And I want you to understand, it's not because you went to Old Trafford we lost it. It's because the Glazers were in the stands. Right? It wasn't you. Because you and wifey carried all good vibes. But I just to tell you how heavy the Glazers are. Once Glazers not down in Brentford, you're going to win.
yeah, well, they're not gonna go in the away games. Let me just say that I doubt that they would.
You never know.
Most owners don't really go to away games. Gentlemen, it is always a pleasure. We ain't even touched everything we wanted to touch on, and we've almost half an hour over. So, people that are looking, if you're tuning in on YouTube, remember to like, remember to subscribe, and wherever you're looking at us on, tell people about the program. You know what I mean? Share it with a friend. Get people interested, get people involved. Red Devils don't die. We multiply. Enjoy the rest of your week, people. Like, I can't find the outro, boy. The whole thing we just having a very bad day today.